episode of HP Critical, podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. You know who we are because you listen every week, so we're not going to bother introducing ourselves because you already know that we're Brandon, Joel, Gabe, and Kelly. Unless it's your first time listening, in which case you don't know, but now you know. It's Brandon, Gabe, Kelly, and Joel.
I'm Brandon, by the way. Hi, friends.
I try to
Kelly.
be really cool. I guess that makes her Gabe.
I'm Gabe.
Hey.
Hello.
That sound like him, though.
I tried to be really cool with this podcast intro and it failed miserably. So let's just start with what you guys have been playing.
It's okay, Jarrell. You're cool. You got the like a dragon icon right there. Yeah. So what I've been playing this week, since he asked, not too much on my own time. It's been pretty much Breath of the Wild DLC on my own time. As far as streaming, I've been playing Skyward Sword HD, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and we did do a recent episode of HP Critical Doesn't Hold Up. I had Rodrigo, aka Sethermel, one of our wonderful writers, on as a guest for this episode. And we played two games that neither of us had ever heard before. One was called Magical Drop 2 and one was called Bamboozle. I must say, Magical Drop 2, actually a really good game. It's a fun puzzle game, surprisingly simple to play. Like, we were able to pick it up and be like really good within like 3 minutes of starting it. It's a very good game. I do recommend if you like puzzle games. Now the other game though, Bamboozle, I think I'm gonna preface this by saying I think it might be the worst game we've played in the show so far, or at least in season 2. It's some trash. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like Bamboozle. It freaking looks like a cross between a really bad PC game of the early 90s and an NES game of like 85. And then the gameplay feels bad. Rodrigo, bless his soul, was saying, well, there's something redeeming in the gameplay. And, you know, he's technically not wrong. But, oh, my God, that game is held together by glue. It looks so bad. It looks bad, and it just doesn't play good. Oh, man. And, you know, these whole things are like every time a Super Nintendo game gets announced for the service and there are games that people haven't heard of, people are like, oh, why the hell is this game I never heard of there? Why did you put Earthbound or Mario RPG or whatever? And my defense to that usually is like, okay, you haven't heard of these games. That's fair, but they could still be good. And when I played Magical Drop 2, I was very much feeling that. But I can't imagine who the fuck okayed Bamboozle when there's so many games out there that people are asking for. Like, this game is trash. I'm sorry. I apologize for the profanity, but Bamboozle's some garbage, man. Oh, man. I didn't like it. It was not a good game. It was not a good game at all. Avoid Bamboozle. Try Magical Drop 2, though.
This is a family-friendly podcast. Don't worry. I'm going to bleep out all your bad words.
I said one bad word.
I'm
like
saying
5.
for the duration of the podcast, say what you want, and I'm gonna just spend an extra 2 hours while editing, bleeping it all out. And these really funny, cool bleep like sounds. It's gonna be like.
I'm excited to see what sound effect you use. Yeah, avoid Bamboozle. Continue. Who else wants to talk about what they've been playing?
I guess I'll go next. Same thing I've been playing. Me and Jarrell playing Final Fantasy 14 every night.
Somebody did their first 8-man raid yesterday.
Yes, I did my first 8-man raid. I hit level 50. I did my level 50 White Mage quest. So now I'm like legit. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
I have converted.
That's all I've played. Yeah, I'm converted and in short, obsessed. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to play anything else. I don't even stream because I'm just like, I can't pay attention to people. Like, I just need to focus on healing in my dungeons because I'm a fucking nerd, apparently. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, you should. And if you're playing another MMO trash, you should play it instead. So
what is going on? Like, I'm just trashing everything.
Hey, the game I was talking about deserves that trash.
All right, well, when I do have time to play, which is super late at night, I'm literally just playing with Final Fantasy 14 with Kelly. And we did our first full party dungeon a few days ago, which was a lot of fun. I learned how Kelly really feels about DPS. the TPS role, and she thinks we're useless. And we did our first 8-man, and I was able to heal with her, which was really fun. I'd been waiting to do something like that. Spend lots of time, gambling and Gold Saucer and having a great time. Trying to continue to convince Gabe to come over because he's just been so busy that he can't find time to play with us, even though we played like one time together. But I'm trying to push him forward. So send me an email where you just write all the reasons that Gabe should play Final Fantasy 14 with us, and then we could stream it on the HPCritical Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HPCritical, which is where you can also find the Does It Hold Up series that Brandon was previously speaking on that he hosts every week.
Yep.
So bring your asses. I mean, bring your bums.
Bring it over.
Whatever. Yeah, and that's literally all I've been playing because time is a social construct that's not real, but we don't have enough of it. What about you, Gabe?
I've only been playing 2 games, Smash Bros. And Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Finally.
Nice.
I actually finally got to finish the game. It's funny because the save file, says 53 hours, but like if you go back to when I started the game, it's been over a year. But yeah, I finally finished the game. I finished the path of the Blue Lions, got happily married at the end. I'm going to try and say this without spoilers, but I'm very pleased with the way the game ends, as opposed to most games, especially games that you don't know if there's going to be a sequel to it. It'll finish off sometimes like with a really open-ended ending. For example, if you've played Breath of the Wild, we didn't know there was going to be a second Breath of the Wild. The way the game ends, you're like, well, what the fuck happens, after Hyrule is saved for the 100th time? I really like the way Fire Emblem is like, here's what happened to everybody inside your alliance. Not alliance, inside your group. Like this person went off to do this person did this is how long this person lived. I was really entertained by the ending. It really felt like a full ending, but there's 3 choices to choose, 3 major choices to choose. Well, 4 if you play the DLC. But so I'm diving back in. I finished the game and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. And then New Game Plus.
Oh man, I did the same thing. I finished the Golden Deer. I just didn't want it to end, so I just went to New Game Plus, the Blue Line, and then didn't play it for like a long time, and then went back earlier this year and finished it up. Gabe, I have 2 quick questions since you finished 3 Houses.
I have a question too.
Yeah. So my first question is: so who did you marry, Gabe? I'm curious now.
Manuela.
Oh, that's right.
That was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. When I started playing the game and I found out you can marry people, I didn't even second guess. I was like,
that's.
I'm not gonna lie though. She gave like. Again, I'm gonna try and say this without spoilers, but like I don't know if any of you guys have married her, but like when you marry her, it's like there's such a touching moment. We were like, well, goddamn, I'm kind of glad like I didn't leave you out to hang because
I do understand what you mean. I never married Manuela myself, but in like 2 other playthroughs, I've had her married off, so I do understand what you mean. The second question I was gonna ask is: now that you started your New Game Plus, what route are you gonna take second?
I'm going. Was it the Golden Eagles? Is that what it is?
Golden Deer. Hell yeah.
No, not Golden Deer. I'm going Edelgard.
Edelgard, let's fucking go.
What did she? She's the houses of the what?
You gotta
the Black Eagles.
Jarrell, you have to tell Gabe something about the Black Eagles like off the podcast just to make sure
they're the best. It's the best story. I'm 100% best storyline in the game.
The only reason I went her second was because like by the end of the Blue Lions, I completely hated her.
That was going to be my question, like love, hate, indifferent about Edelgard, but I see you hate her, and she's my favorite character for very obvious reasons if you play her route, because she's clearly the best, well-designed, most thought out, wonderful character ever written in a video game ever, because Edelgard's the best. And I know that you finished it because you had made that post about how you wanted to see all Fire Emblem characters in Smash.
100%.
Like, oh yeah, he's probably gotten pretty far in the game. That game's fucking awesome. If you haven't played it, it has my endorsement. Yeah. Play Edelgard's route because she's the best. So did you guys hear about the controversy with Boyfriend Dungeon?
No,
I saw the title of that game and I didn't read it.
I saw you had it downloaded. It's like behind you on your screen.
Oh, I was like, how did you know? Like, what did I do?
I'm a witch. All right. I'm a witch.
I
bitch.
literally was like, I have it downloaded. I do have it downloaded. I'm
Yeah.
using a friend's Game Pass, which is expiring in like 6 days. So guess what I'll be playing.
Yeah, I did hear about the controversy though. Yes,
Do
it's
you want
right
to?
there.
Do you want to talk about it, or should I?
You can. I don't know like all the details, so if you do, then you should explain it.
Okay, so quickly, Boyfriend Dungeon is essentially Hades meets dating sim. Gameplay like Hades. Rest of the game, wonderful dating sim. You date your weapons. Your boyfriends can be weapons. I have not gotten very far in it, so I can't talk too much about it. But and I don't think this is considered spoilers, but spoiler warning just in case. The antagonist is apparently someone that kind of stalks you, and to finish the game, you cannot ignore your stalker. Like, you have to interact with them and talk with them, and a lot of people felt like that's a really bad take, and it's kind of unfair to put the player in a position to have to confront someone who's stalking them as opposed to dealing with it in a different way. And you cannot finish the game unless you deal with the stalker in that manner. And a lot of people were complaining because they said that the content warning, even though there is a content warning in the game, the content warning was not good enough for what occurs in the game. Not only that, but there are some people that really want the developers to actually take portions out or change the game based on that situation. And my question in general is just going to be, how do you guys feel? Like, do you think that developers should change games? And this is a very specific, situation. I know we've talked about, difficulty, and how, people can have the game's difficulty at whatever it is and just have to deal with it. But in this situation where it's something that's like stalking, for example, something that's, a more serious topic, do you think that developers should listen to players, or do you think that this is the message they want to tell and not every game is for everyone? And I'm going to stop before I put words in your mouth. Tell me.
It is kind of a problematic situation with the story being what it was. Like you said, like the warning, it is there, but it's not it's not good enough. I guess probably just the fact that it's not descriptive, which I could almost defend it not being descriptive, because it's at that point, how descriptive can you get? It's like, hey, at this point in the game, you're gonna have to like it's a part of the story. There's only so much that they can tell you, so they try to give the content warning in that case. As for the whole premise of like taking out the story bit, I mean, I'm not I haven't played the game. I don't know the full details of the story, but that doesn't sound like something that would be like simple to just remove or just outright change in that way, if it's like a core part of the story. That, like, based on what you've described to me, and again, I could be wrong, but it sounds to me like to adjust this part of the story, they would have to like just fundamentally change the story. And I don't know if that's feasible. I don't know if that's like really feasible. It's not like, oh, this feature's bad, change it, or let's say someone has arachnophobia, okay, remove the spiders, something like that, which I know Grounded does, for as an example.
Yeah.
But this is tough. But this is like the story. If it was written this way, it feels like you'd have to like rewrite the whole thing. And I just don't know if that's something that they could feasibly do without changing like the whole game. I'm not even arguing whether they should or shouldn't. It's just a matter of, can they even, without changing what that game is. I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to see what the content warning said, because if it's not, I mean, they obviously put the content warning there to tell you, hey, this is gonna happen in the game, but apparently it doesn't look like it was enough. And at the same time, I also wouldn't, I don't know, like, to ask a developer to change, you know, like Brandon was saying, bits and pieces of the game like that. That's not something easy to do. And so I guess the best option would be to just change the content warning. And yeah, sure, the content warning is going to spoil the end of the game, but in cases like this, that's okay, because clearly it's upsetting a lot of people. But
yeah,
to change, to take things out, like to go back into a finished game and take things out, I don't know.
So this is an article from GameIndustry.biz, written by Danielle Pardis, and it says, in a new update, Kitfox made changes to a warning already featured in the game to reflect themes more specifically. This, I'm assuming, is the new one, which says this game's story involves exposure to unwanted advances, stalking, and other forms of emotional manipulation. Play with care and take breaks as needed. I'm assuming that is the updated one. And the developers Kitfox did address the situation via Twitter, in which they apologized for inadequately describing the events in the first warning that was in the game initially. I wanted to say that before, I don't know if that changes anything you wanted to say, Gabe, or before Kelly goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a video game for one, so I don't know why you would have that be the story. That seems kind of like strange. I don't know what stalking has to do with dating men in a dungeon. Actually, I guess if you have a stalker, you could end up in a dungeon, so that checks out.
He is the bad guy, like he is the antagonist.
I just don't know anything about the story. Like, I don't know how deep it goes. Like, is it like really terrifying? Is it just like a cartoons? Like, I have no idea. So like, I think the updated content warning should really be enough, but I did see, like, I didn't really plan to play this because I'm very busy with Final Fantasy, but like, people were like really upset about this. Like, it's like a brand new IP that had like a lot of promise, and now it's just into like obscurity as quickly as it started. I feel like, because of something like this, like, it's just, I don't feel like people are going to play it now. And I feel like that is kind of a travesty, but at the same time, like, kind of think about the content that you're putting into a game.
I've been seeing a lot of Twitter mutuals that are just like, that have played the game, who are pretty much just like, we love this game, we love the way it is, the way it plays makes sense. These are events that happen in real life, and they're dealt with in real life. And so video games are a form of art that deal with real life situations, and this is just one of them. And it handles the LGBT characters really well, and it handles some of the situations really well. And at the same time, they were like, yeah, this could have been added to the content warning, so they're very happy that it has been added to the content warning. And I just think you shouldn't change. I think, and I've said this before, I think that not every game is for everyone. And I'm okay with that, because I know that I am not going to play Resident Evil 7 ever, because it's not a game that's meant for me. And I do think that the fixed content warnings will hopefully be enough. I'm excited to finally, dive more into Boyfriend Dungeon. I want to date my swords and like probably have sex with them. I don't know what's going on. Like, okay, in the game, not
okay.
Y'all know what I mean. Okay, I'm
the
talking too much.
logistics of that are not, no matter which way I think about it, it's not checking out. Like, I'm just like, no, that is painful.
Okay, so I'm gonna just move on. And also, this article also says the latest update also fixes a few other sensitive issues, such as removing a reference to stillbirth and adding a vegan option to a portion of dialogue. These adjustments join a toggle to turn off in-game text from a character called Mom, should players wish to avoid it, which was something that people complained about Animal Crossing not having, because, you get the letters from your mom, and not everyone is comfortable with receiving letters from mom. So, yeah, I have a crying baby. Give me a second.
Sure.
Okay, so baby dealt with, and I have found the actual content warning, which I'm going to read now. It says, this game may include references to unwanted advances, stalking, and other forms of emotional manipulation. Play with care. Oh. I feel like I read that already. I should have pre-read this before. All right, whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Very similar.
No, it's the same thing. I just read the same thing.
Oh, okay.
This is what happens when I get flustered.
You got a baby.
This is what happens when you have a baby. Babies
with a sword.
Oh, babies are, honestly, y'all don't have kids. They're a lot of work. Don't have children. They're a lot of work.
There's enough humans in this world anyway.
There really are.
Should all be sword people, like
This is
Soul,
not
like in Soul Eater.
Are you guys playing Pokemon Unite?
I
still?
do love Soul Eater, and they are definitely.
I play
the kid is
Pokemon Unite
great.
every now and then.
Oh yes, the Pokemon Unite question. Yes, I
don't-
still play.
I
I'm
don't
trying to
play
get.
it every
It's coming to
night.
mobiles.
Yep. I mean, we did know that. It's just I don't think we knew the date until the presents. If that's what you're segueing into,
Blissy's coming.
Blissey is already in the game.
I mean,
Blissy's in the game.
are they gonna fix the title screen though? Have they talked about that?
They did not.
Because that's before they start adding anything else, they need to fix the title screen and the menu, because the menu's a mess. One of the reasons I don't play that game that often anymore is because I don't like to sit in the menu, because the frame rate for the menu is like 12 per second.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
the
really
menu
bad.
the gameplay for the most part runs pretty stable. But yeah, for whatever reason, the menu frame
The
rate
menu's
is weird.
hot trash. The menu makes you feel like you're already playing it on a phone.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Is it an Android? Like, does the menu make it feel like you're playing on an Android?
Yes. It's like
Really?
you remember when Fortnite came.
What?
Oh, I don't know if you guys remember when Fortnite came out on mobile, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they were making fun of the graphics. It feels very similar to that, because it's the menu is just hot garbage. Like it takes me like 10 seconds to move over 2 options.
Wow. I'm not segueing into Pokemon yet,
Okay.
but I will soon.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I was
Blissy's
actually going to talk about the man that was arrested for the murder of the Overwatch voice actress Christiane Louise. Yeah, so this is about to talk. We're about to talk a little bit about death, murder, and violence. Unfortunately, this was the Brazilian voice actress for Mercy, who unfortunately was found murdered. This is an article from NME.com written by Thomas Hughes. And it says the man arrested in connection with the murder is economist Pedro Paulo Goncalves Vasconcelos da Costa. It is reported that Costa murdered Louise in her home, slashing her leg and neck. Louise was 49 at the time of her death. She was also known for the voice of Cortana, the Brazilian voice of Cortana in that game that Cortana's in, Halo?
Halo. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Halo. Apparently, Costa had been staying with Louise while she supported him through an ongoing mental health crisis. They were friends and met during 2017 in a psychiatric clinic. Costa allegedly intended to keep Louise's belongings and inheritance, the former of which he had already started moving into his mother's home, who aided him. The mother, who also is wanted in connection with the murder, currently remains at large. Costa, who is currently in custody, alleges that he acted in self-defense. However, Costa and his mother allegedly spent 2 days in the house with the body of the actress before hiding her. Yeah, this is really horrible, really deep. I just wanted to, say her name, get it out there, and, thank her for what she's done, even though she's not here anymore. This is just, it's, a really horrible, tragic situation. Yeah, she voiced Cortana from Halo, and she was also Marge in the Brazilian dubbed version of The Simpsons as well. So I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Brazil is reeling right now. She sounds like a very prominent voice actor there.
Yeah, honestly.
And since we're talking about bad things, California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing, the department suing Activision, is putting pressure on Riot Games to inform its employees that they can speak to the DFEH about misconduct. They say that Riot has been stalling. So I know we talked about Ubisoft, we talked about Activision Blizzard, we talked a little bit about Riot, like I think how they had issues last year. And Riot has delayed issuance for 2 months of notice to workers about their right to speak about sexual harassment and other unlawful workplace practices. And this is a part of this. It says, alarmed by language in Riot settlement and separation agreements that suggested employees could not voluntarily and candidly speak with the government about sexual harassment and other violations and obtain relief in the government's actions, DFEH promptly moved for relief from the court. The court ordered Riot to issue the corrective notice. However, Riot has delayed the process for 2 months. So basically, this just means that, the Riot team feels as if they cannot go forward with this conversation, and the department is like, hey, you guys feel free to speak to us, and it's crazy that this is something that is even happening. The fact that actually it's not crazy, it's something that unfortunately happens far too often. I'm gonna move on from both of those sad stories unless anyone has anything to comment on that about.
I got nothing.
So Stranger Things is the fans of Stranger Things are begging Netflix to renew their license for Dead by Daylight before it's removed very soon. If not already removed by the time you listen to this, it's actually on sale now. So if you're listening to it like when this comes out, you should probably buy it very, very soon, because very soon all the Stranger Things stuff is going to be going away from Dead by Daylight. Any thoughts on that one?
What the fuck? I main Steve the Hare Harrington. This is what? Why? I thought, okay. So I saw a story that they were taking out the lab, but I didn't know they were going to take out the characters.
Yeah. Well, I'm under the assumption
jeez.
that you know what? Let me just read this. The loss of DLC is tied to the expiration of the license obtained to make this crossover happen, but fans are begging Netflix, the company that owns Stranger Things, to renew the license before it's too late. The Dead by Daylight crew confirmed that Stranger Things content would be leaving this November in a recent blog post, including the full removal of the Netflix-inspired map. To compensate, however, the studio is heavily discounting content related to this particular DLC. That being said, any Netflix posts made on social media since the announcement have been plagued with fans respectfully begging Netflix to reconsider letting the license expire. A good example of this banding of Stranger Things fans can be seen on a recent post, which says, "Renew your contract with Dead by Daylight, please."
I have a quick question on this, because I've only played Dead by Daylight like a handful of times. I didn't even realize that there was a Stranger Things crossover. I'm trying to get an idea of like how extensive this crossover is. Like, is Demogorgon like a killer? Or is
Yes.
it, like,
Demogorgon's a killer. There's
Okay.
a map, and there's Steve
characters.
and God, Nancy
okay,
are the
gotcha.
characters, and they have
Okay.
like really good perks. Oh God, if they take away Steve's perk, what am I gonna fucking do? If they take away babysitter, oh. Anyway,
How do you play the
Uh,
game anymore?
So that's the other question I was gonna ask, is like, if you already own it, you're not losing it, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming. I'm under the
I don't know. You
assumption.
said it's going away in November.
I mean,
like,
that's what the article says. This is from GameInformer.com, written by Liana Rupert. Let me see if there's another one that I can pull up that's a little more detailed.
I mean, if they're heavily discounting it, it makes sense that it's probably leaving completely.
right,
Yeah, the
so you think
Demogorgon's
this
a
is
killer.
just like
That's kind of
last
sick,
chance
actually.
play before it goes away.
Kind of, maybe. That is concerning. I feel like I should play, because that was one of the best expansions in my opinion. I really liked it.
All right, well, let's talk about we've talked about, I think, this before, but let's talk about licensing and the ability to just remove things from licensed products. How do you feel about that? Should we do something about it? Is there anything we can do about it? Should there be, what do you feel like should happen here?
Fucking hate it, man. I
man.
hate it. You know how many games I have on my Steam wish list that I can't buy anymore because the licenses has been removed? It's one of the most annoying things in the world. Like, I understand it, there's a money side to it and a whole business legal part to it, but like, if the game's out already, like, I'll use an example. Not a lot of people know this game, but it's a Lord of the Rings game. It's called War in the North. It takes place at the same time as the Lord of the Rings movies, but it happens in the north part of the continent. And like, it was a very good game in my opinion, and it told a new story than we were used to for Lord of the Rings. And like, the game already came out. The physical copies are out. So to me, like, I feel like you should leave the game on the store, but we can't do that anymore because the studio doesn't own it anymore. And they're like, well, we got to pull it from the Steam library, so you can't buy it anymore. And it's like, it sucks. That's annoying. And then, yeah, it's annoying to me.
You could probably check G2A for that.
So
Just saying. Sponsor us.
yes. So apparently, I just read up on it. It does say that if you've already purchased any of the Stranger Things content, it's yours to keep for as long as you continue to play Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
So you will be able to keep it. You just won't be able to purchase it or play purchasing it going forward. So yeah, if you everything's 50% off currently, so if you haven't gotten it by now, now's your last chance. It is it's been what, 2 years, I think this said, since 2 years, I believe it said, since the content has been out. So luckily you'll still be able to play them. You just
That's
gotta,
reassuring.
it just sucks for someone like me who hasn't jumped in for a while. Now I gotta, like, pop up the game and play as soon as possible. Shall we move on?
Yeah. Just one thing I'll just add real quick regarding licensing. Licensing is a very slippery slope because, like Gabe said, it's all based on the whole business stuff. Like, they say, hey, let's collab. And, you know, obviously these things expire if you don't own the thing. It could mean like some really cool stuff, like some really cool collabs, crossovers, what have you. But of course, you know, once that licensing ends, it becomes very difficult. I don't know if you guys have been up on it, but there's this campaign going on Twitter now called Free MVC2, where because you can't buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on like modern stores, and I don't know if you can even do it in like past stores or whatever, and people just want to play it. It's a well-beloved game in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, or just, you know, Capcom fighting games in general, and people just want a way to like easily play it and, you know, play online with friends. And of course, that's a huge licensing thing. Capcom, of course, that's all their stuff. They have no problem. It's a matter of getting with Marvel,
Disney.
and Disney, yeah, because Disney owns
Disney's
Marvel
the
and most of those
issue.
characters. So, you know, it's not any it's an uphill battle for sure. But that's just how it is. I'm very mixed on licensing stuff. It's cool while it's going down, but if you want to come back to it, like, hey, I like that thing, a few years later, it's where it gets difficult. So
Yeah, like that's a sorry. I was gonna to continue on the
go ahead.
licensing thing. Like I like playing. I'm one of the few, not one of the few, but I like playing, you know, those games that are based off movies. And like we haven't had a Lord of the Rings game or a Harry Potter game. There's another movie I was thinking about, whatever, any of those games that were strictly based off the movies in years. And it's because the licensing, the company that had them licensed, you know, no longer has them or no longer exists.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like there should be a way, like, yeah, we understand there's gonna be a certain time where a certain point in time where, like, you know, the licensing is gonna run out. But there has, like, I feel like there should definitely start being like a way that, like, it's not necessarily a workaround, but it's an agreement between the companies and the, you know, and the titles that, like, hey, like, even though you can't make any more games, we will allow this game to remain up for digital sale, because the only other way to find it is through, you know, physical copies, and those usually go for, you know, a good amount of money.
Yeah, but then I mean that then becomes so I agree with you. I think that's great. Like, I think that would be a great idea. But then that becomes a conversation on how much money people are making based off a license. And if we're allowing you to do this without, you know, profiting off the license, like, who's making the money? Like, how am I making the money from you selling my license game without you without you paying for using that license? You know, like,
Yeah.
I ain't getting shit. So I don't give a fuck about you and your people. And that is what a business thinks, not Terrell. I agree with Gabe. I think we should be able to do something like that. I do have one quick follow-up question to that. What do you guys think about movies and games that come out that are clearly done because the license is about to expire? Do you know what I mean? Like, a great example, I think, is Space Jam. You know, this new one, because the I believe they were gonna lose the Looney Tunes license soon, and so they wanted to.
Oh, really?
I could be making all this up, but
the Looney Tunes
I
license,
read somewhere that there was some issue with the licensing with that, so they wanted to make a remake while they still had a chance. But let's ignore that, just in case I'm lying completely out of my ass about that, and just talk about situations in which, you know, games or movies or sequels or something are made right before a license expires, just to try to cash in on that. Do you think that that's okay then?
I'll give you an example of something that's not only that, but also an effort to keep license just to say you have it. And that's that awful Fantastic Four movie they did like only a few years ago, where that was legit put out so they didn't lose the license. You know, the whole contract stipulates you got to make a movie within this amount of time or you're going to lose the license. So they just put that out. It's very clear that that was a very soulless project watching it. And yeah, that's when people do that, when companies do that just to keep the thing, I think that's even worse, because clearly you don't care, but you don't want to lose it. So just put whatever else and put whatever out.
Okay, what if they do care? What if they do care?
Okay, if they
but
do
they
care,
don't have
it's
time
great
to put out something good, but they gotta, you know, put something out to hold on, to retain that license and talk renewal contracts, and then try to do something better later on. What if it's all just like
earlier?
a timing thing? What if it's a timing thing?
I'm gonna be honest, the only times I've seen that is, like Brandon said, the Fantastic Four thing, and a lot of the Spider-Man movies, especially with Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that they did that too.
Like
with those movies, yeah.
I don't think there's an excuse, especially if you're a company like Sony or Fox, that you don't have the time or the resources to make something good. Like, let's be honest, everyone has their own flavor of Spider-Man. Some people think Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Some people think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. I don't know what people think about Andrew Garfield because
some people really like him. I will say that.
well, they need to get checked.
Damn.
But yeah, like again, like we went from Tobey Maguire, who was, they gave us the adult Spider-Man. You can kind of see that they kind of had a plan for Tobey and Tom Holland. Tobey
Sure.
Maguire was the college student, the senior high school college student Spider-Man, the one that most people are kind of familiar with. Tom Holland is the up and coming. Are you okay? Oh, you're muted. Tom Holland is, the high school up and coming Spider-Man.
Sure.
Andrew Garfield was what the fuck Spider-Man. They just threw as many villains as they wanted to in not Tobey Maguire, in Andrew. God, their names are so confusing. It's because they're all white. What was his name? Andrew Garfield. They just threw as many villains as they could at Andrew Garfield. It was like villain after villain. And I think and then they finally, like, they were gonna have that next movie, Amazing Spider-Man 3. Was it gonna be 3 or 2? I don't remember.
2 already came out. It was 3.
So it's gonna be 3. Yeah, so it's gonna be 3. They talked about having 3, and then it went from
they set 3 apart too.
It went from here, we're gonna have Amazing Spider-Man 3. Woo! Here's the cast. Here's the more or less what's gonna happen, and then it just kind of fell dead. And then Disney was like, "Yo, we'll pay you to let us make a Spider-Man movie because you guys clearly don't know what you're doing anymore." So it's like, again, I feel like big companies like Sony and Fox, when you have the rights to a lot of these, big franchises, the excuse of not having the resources or the time to do it is not very, I don't know.
All right, well,
it's not.
I am going to move on a little bit from this before we talk more shit about Spider-Man, because it's not a Spider-Man podcast. I don't know what just happened. It's my own fault.
That was my only example. I couldn't think of it.
I just to give the final thought on Spider-Man, I can't wait for Spider-Verse 2. It's gonna be so good.
So, do you guys remember when we played Outriders?
Mm-hmm.
Did we play Outriders
alone?
That 5 minutes, yeah.
I wasn't there for that 5 minutes because I couldn't get the Square Enix account to work. I mean,
Kelly and I played.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
well,
yes, I remember when you two played.
Outriders developer People Can Fly says it doesn't know how many copies of the game is sold and hasn't earned any royalties from the game, suggesting that it hasn't yet been profitable for publisher Square Enix. Announced on the developer investors website, People Can Fly explained that the agreement with Square Enix meant it would receive any royalties for the game's first quarter on sale by August 16, 2021. No funds were transferred, which People Can Fly suggests means that, according to the publisher, the revenues for the sale of the game are lower than the total cost of production, including quality assurance, distribution, and promotion. To explain essentially what that means is that they're supposed to get paid royalties from what the game made, but they haven't got paid shit. So their assumption is that they haven't broken even yet based off of, everything that I mentioned: promotion, distribution, QA, production, etc., because they haven't gotten paid any money. So they also don't know how many copies of this game has been sold. And I'll actually go on to continue reading this. Where is it? According to the publisher, I read that already. People Can Fly executive Sebastian, not gonna attempt his last name. I am Wojciechowski. I'm so sorry. Added that the company had no firm data for copies sold. We don't have any sales figures for Outriders. We estimated at between 2 and 3 million units and assumed that this was a result that would ensure profitability for this project in the first quarter of sales. The lack of payment by the publisher probably means that, according to Square Enix, this is not the case. Okay, so that is an article from IGN.com written by Joe Screbbles. How do you guys, how do you take this information? Like, the fact that imagine you made a game, right? And you have absolutely no idea how many copies it sold because your publisher Square Enix hasn't told you. And then they tell you you're going to get paid once it breaks even, and whatever is profitable, you'll gain revenue. And you haven't gained revenue for first quarter. So your assumption is that your game didn't sell well. Like, what do you even do in this moment? How do you feel? What happens?
Isn't it on Game Pass?
Yes, it is.
So I don't feel like copies sold at all. I mean, 2 or 3 million, I think, I don't know. I feel like I forgot about that game literally as soon as I turned it off after we played one time. I was like, okay, bye, never gonna see you again. Like, is anyone still playing it? Like, is it still
Apparently
popular?
not.
Like,
The thing
I
that
feel really
was-
bad that they're not getting paid, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
So to add on to what you're saying, I don't know if this is gonna, if you have more to say about this, but the thing that blows my mind is that I remember specifically we had a conversation on this podcast about how had like it was the most concurrent players on Steam or something when it first came out. Like I specifically remember having a conversation along the lines of a lot of people playing this game on Steam when it released. And we also talked about it being a live service game, but it's not a live service game because it's not going to have updates, but that it felt like it was. So it had an end goal, right? So it's not like this is a game that's going to continue that people have to keep, you know, coming back to and playing for. It has a beginning, middle, and end. So it's not like a game that, you know, is going to retain its player base, I'm assuming. Like once you're done, unless you're going to keep doing the same stuff over and over, or unless they've actually done the update, then you're going to do the same thing. So this is so strange to me because so many people were playing on Steam at its release. I don't know if you wanted to add on that, Kelly, or if you were done, but I just wanted to add that I remembered specifically that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were playing in the beginning, and I think it just burned out. I think that it's one of those games. Like I go by I go game popularity by viewers on streaming platforms because that's just, I think, a pretty good, like, games that I'm playing is what I watch. I think a lot of people are kind of like that. Like I never watched a Final Fantasy 14 stream before in my life, and now if I'm turning on a stream, it's to watch that game because I'm playing it. And like the game like Outriders, like I feel like every streamer that I followed was like, Outriders, we're all playing Outriders, so much fun. Then just randomly something else came out or whatever, and then like nobody was playing it. And now like I just looked at the viewers, it's like less than 400 on Twitch. Like,
Oof.
less than 400. And the same thing with, I just want to mention that game Valheim, like so huge, 250,000 followers of like that category on Twitch. There's like 800 viewers. Like games just go big and then burn the fuck out. And I feel like that's what happened with Outriders. I feel like they should have probably made some money by now, but I have no idea how that works. I don't know what the fuck was in their contract. Like, I feel like that's got to be a really shitty feeling though. Q1 and you did not even get a check yet.
Like,
you don't even know
imagine.
how many it's sold. Like, I wonder how the Game Pass thing is working with them.
So
really.
actually, I was going to add here
Okay,
that the executives suggest that a lack of profitability could be caused by the publisher, including distribution partnerships. The game was launched into Game Pass, for example, or that Square Enix spent more than expected on releasing the game. It wouldn't be a unique situation for Square Enix. Last year, the publisher announced that Marvel's Avengers had failed to recoup its development costs a few months after launch. And he also goes on to say that the game was still being worked on. People Can Fly expects more promotional work from Square Enix, and that the sales tail of the Outriders game is ahead of us. As a result, the company expects royalties to begin later this year. And they this article at IGN has contacted Square Enix for comment, but there is not one currently. So I think it's also what you said, right? Like it depends on how much money Square has used to promote this game, and it was everywhere. Like I saw Outriders commercials all over the place. So that means they've spent a shit ton of money. So they still gotta, you know, recoup all of that before they can even start paying the people. Yes, Gabe, sorry.
So I don't want to brag or anything, but I do remember when we were talking about Outriders coming and we were talking about PSN, free PSN plus games of the month versus Xbox Game Pass. And I was getting a lot of flack for saying that I don't think that Xbox Game Pass is going to help Outriders' popularity or its success. I'm not saying I'm right because, again, like Kelly said, and like you've been saying, Jarrell, Square isn't telling these guys what's going on with the game or, you know, any statistics. But I'm just saying we should no longer base off a game's success, whether it's going to Game Pass or not, because clearly it doesn't help as much as you think. That's all I wanted to say, because I remember getting heat for that one.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
3.5
really
million players in the beginning.
I just don't really remember us saying that Game Pass would help it be successful. I think that we are more saying that if it comes to Game Pass, that helps Game Pass be success. Like I thought it was about Game Pass being good, not
I will
the
find the
game.
clip, screen record it,
Okay.
and send it to you guys.
All right.
Well, the big point here actually is that, like I mentioned, there were 3.5 million players. It passed 3.5 million players, right? But if those players are on Game Pass,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that the
Yeah.
past 3.5 million, those developers are not getting paid. And that is essentially, I mean, once again, we don't know how much Game Pass, paid to have this game on Game Pass, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they didn't pay enough to get to pay for marketing and promotion and everything else, because if they did, then everything in sales would be going to the developers. But clearly they didn't pay enough. Square might have overpaid because they had a lot of faith in this brand new IP that they thought was going to be really great. It got really, really decent reviews, 7, 8s, and I think maybe a 9, but it was around the 7 and 8 area. It had 3.5 million players, and Game Pass, I'm assuming a lot of people played it on Game Pass because people weren't willing to go spend $70 on a brand new IP that from a developer that they didn't really know. And so when you don't make that money, you don't make that money. Yeah, I'm gonna move on unless you guys are.
I have one more thing. I think another thing that went into the game clearly not doing as well as they thought it would is correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the developers in the beginning say like we don't have any planned updates for the game? Like, because you were saying about it's not a live service, but it looks like it was working like one. And the developers said like if there's enough interest, we'll start planning the updates and whatnot. And it's like I feel like if I was a player and I heard that, I was like, well, I don't want to risk putting all the time into it if you ultimately don't put more things into the game. So like I feel like that's another reason why it kind of like fell off and people stopped playing, is because like there was no 100% guarantee that we're going to get more content in the game.
I mean, that's a very fair point, because I thought
Yeah.
that game was going to be a game that, like Destiny, would continue. So when I found out that it didn't, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that is interesting. Like, because it seems like the type of game that's going to continue. Like, it's meant to be played that way based on just, games that we play over and over. Yeah, so can we talk about Among Us?
Let's do this.
Mhm.
Anyway, Among Us developers are reacting to Fortnite's new imposters mode. Sorry about that, everyone. I got disconnected. I had to start a call again. So Fortnite launches new mode, game mode Imposters this week, which features players working together to discover just who the saboteurs are in their team. If the 8 agents can complete all their assignments or eject 2 imposters before they cause too much disruption, they win the round. If the idea sounds sus, then that's because the new mode sounds familiar to indie hit Among Us. Individual members from the Among Us developers Innersloth took to Twitter to discuss Fortnite's imposter mode and how Epic appears to have pinched more than just a few non-patented game ideas for its take on the genre. This is from Victoria Tran. It would have been really, really cool to collab. Like game mechanics, fine, those shouldn't be gatekept, but at the very least, even different themes or terminology make things more interesting. She is the Innersloth community director. We also have programmer Gary Porter, who pointed out some suspicious similarities between Fortnite's loop control facility and the Scales map in Among Us, in which he says it's okay that they flipped electrical and medbay and it's okay they flipped electrical and medbay and connected security to the cafeteria. He's obviously being sarcastic when he talks about how the Fortnite map is almost exactly the same.
Oh man.
I
didn't realize it's that blatant.
Yeah. As for Epic, this isn't the first time that it has been accused of copyright infringement. Lawsuits were filed against the company by Backpack Kid and Alfonso Ribeiro, although those were eventually dropped. Fortnite itself seemed to be influenced by PUBG's success in the Battle Royale genre when it first launched, and even saw developers sue Epic over the similarities. So tight little wrap up here. The developers and community managers at Among Us are kind of just like, yeah, it's kind of not cool that you guys did this. Like, at least change it up a little bit. It's kind of one of those situations where you copy the homework on this exactly the same, and they're like, fuck, you could have changed it just a bit so it wouldn't be so fucking blatantly obvious. Epic. But I mean, Victoria Tran also does mention these things should not be gatekept. So she understands that there are certain things that shouldn't be gatekept, but when it is so blatant, I'm assuming it is very disappointing. And, we talked about this a little bit, but I am going to say that I think it's very disappointing when big companies do this to indie companies, because as she mentioned, Among Us would have been more than happy to collab with them, just like Fortnite has been collabing with everybody and their fucking mom, like ever. Like, we could have had a cool crossover with, some.
You really could have.
What are the thingies called? The little.
I don't know if they have names like Little Spaceman from Among Us, but they could have
Yes, we could
done
have
it.
had like some cool Fortnite crossover imposter Among Us thing, and that could have been like a dope collab. They have enough money, and of course, they are the company that's suing Apple because they're all about supporting indie developers. So there's that. Anyway, how we feeling?
Yeah, it's like you just said, like you just offered the possibility of if they had this an official collab, that would have been an awesome feel good story. Instead, this is kind of a feel bad story, if I'm being perfectly frank. Again, there's nothing legally wrong Epic did because the feature wasn't patented. Like the game itself, like its core design was not patented, so it's not legally wrong. It's just kind of ethically wrong. It's just because it's like the whole thing of like Among Us, it's just like this indie game that just burst into popularity last year because everyone was stuck at home and was enjoying the success as a result of that. And then Fortnite, being the big titan that it is, just saw the dollar signs, saw this game's really popular, and said, let's just add this mode. Nothing's really wrong. We could just do it. We could just do it. And they, the average person is not going to care that this is like taken from Among Us. They play Fortnite already. Now they find out they can play some Among Us in their Fortnite. They can. It's like Walmart. It's like it's one-stop shopping. It's just like I guess I don't need to play Among Us anymore. I guess I could just play Fortnite to get all my popular gaming needs, I suppose. So it's just like what can
And you can play as anyone too. So
exactly. Yeah, you still have the option of all. Exactly. That's the one of, and that's unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, the advantage of this being a Fortnite that you have all these characters there. Like you can just have like, I don't know, the Mandalorian just like sneak up on Gaio and assassinate him because he's the imposter.
Superman watches.
While Superman just sits there and watch like.
And Rick from Rick and Morty is in the corner, and Ariana Grande is holding a freaking SMG. Like, come on, it's anything happens, anything does.
Yeah. Like again, if it was an official collab, this would have been the dopest thing ever. Honestly, I'm not even gonna front, but like the fact that they just kind of did is like, again, they can get away with it, but it's just like, it just feels icky.
Kelly, Gabe.
I just want to say that I just found this game called Unfortunate Spacemen that came out before Among Us. That is just a game about betrayal and shapeshifting murder in space. So
yeah,
to act like, okay, yeah, all right, if they did the layout of the whatever, but like a game about betrayal. I mean, there's all kinds of these imposter games.
This
is not
concept
like a
isn't
new
new.
concept.
There's Mafia, Werewolf.
Yeah, there's all kinds. There's Secret Neighbor. There's like all these games that are really similar. But like, there's even a game that came out a year before Among Us that's literally in space. So Among Us was super popular. I believe that, maybe Fortnite did take some things. And I'm not like on Fortnite's side. I'm just saying, like, to act like a space imposter game, like you just came up totally with that concept, like that's a little bit far-fetched. It would have been cool to see a collab. I'm not going to play Fortnite anyways, but I do think it would have been like a pretty cool collab. I mean, because you know how like there's the memes of Among Us and they're like the realistic spacesuits. Like I think that would be so cute in Fortnite, right?
How it would have looked, how the Among Us spacemen would have translated to Fortnite. That would have been dope.
I know it would have been really dope. I think that that would have just been something cool to see. But at the same time, like I said, I don't think that like Among Us, I mean, it really caught on popularity. That's great, but they didn't like invent this idea.
Well, I don't think that they're saying they invented it, right? Like they're actually just saying it's way too close to what we've done. They're not I mean, Victoria Tran specifically said, we can't gatekeep this. It's not like we didn't make this. We can't gatekeep these things. This isn't something that only Fortnite does. What she is saying is that the terminology is specific to Fortnite, right? Like the fact that we're all going on about imposters and sus, that is all specific to Fortnite. The map is specific to Fortnite. So to take the terminology, use it in your game, and then also like change a few things and use almost the same exact map, I think is the big issue here. That's where the collab comes from, not from like, oh, we are Among Us, like how dare you take this from us because we're the only ones who invented this. And I think that's a fair point, and I would have agreed with you had she not mentioned specifically that we cannot gatekeep these things. Gabe, did you want to add before I move on?
Nah, because I'm gonna be very mean.
Oh, okay. You can if you'd like to.
Nah, because this is like it wouldn't even be directed towards like Kelly Tran or the rest of the Among Us crew. It'd be towards the people bitching about it on Twitter.
Okay, well, Destiny 2 has an anti-cheat system that's coming next season. I
It's
don't
coming
know.
now.
Yeah, I'm like, when did that game come out?
The game has
Fucking
been out for years.
5 years ago.
And
Yeah.
you're coming out with it now?
You guys, they're working hard.
No,
The
no,
game
no.
already died and was
Yeah.
halfway resurrected, and now they're coming back. with
Yeah,
it.
the fact that they're done with adding any type of content to the game and now they're putting the anti-cheat system. I mean, but to be fair though, a lot of games are now implementing anti-cheat systems. If I remember, even though we don't want to speak about them, Call of Duty they just finished saying they were going to start implementing it. And I mean, Call of Duty's had the resources to do that for years, and it's not like cheating's a whole new thing in Call of Duty. Like everyone knows that your lobby 8 out of 10 times is gonna have a fucking hacker running around teabagging you, like, oh my gosh, look, I shot you because you can't kill me. Yeah, fuck off. So like, but at the same time, I definitely feel like for this to come after you've updated your game's content all the way, just let the game go. I mean, Destiny.
Oh my God, just let the game-
look, Destiny.
People are still playing. That's
No,
not
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
throw the
yeah.
whole
I'm not
franchise
saying.
away.
I'm not saying they're not, but like at the same time, like there's so many things in Destiny that even if you weren't cheating, make the game extremely frustrating to play online. So it's like, just let people have fun. Let them get loose. You know, fuck it, dude. For
Let the
Destiny 3,
cheaters play
for
with the
Destiny 3,
non-cheaters.
This
dude.
man said chaos reign.
I know there's what they should do, at least for Destiny. I can't remember what game it is, and I don't know if it's happened here or not, but I remember there's a game that said they were just gonna make like an all cheaters lobby. If that was the case, just do that. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck
Throw
it.
them
If
all
you're gonna
together.
cheat against other cheaters. Fuck it.
I want to see a stream of someone just the all cheaters lobby. I don't know if it's Destiny
I would
2,
totally
but
watch that.
Whatever
I'd
whatever
watch
game
that.
has what game is describing. I want to see streams of just like the all cheat lobby. What kind of bullshit are those people are doing? I want to see.
It's so fascinating to see how people are able to cheat. Like people are just amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not
I don't call it
condoning
amazing,
cheating,
yeah.
right? But it's pretty fun to watch.
Like the fact that you suck so much, you gotta cheat. Sorry.
I mean, speaking of cheating, let's talk about wow, that was not what I meant to say. Speaking of bad things. Oh no, don't listen to this podcast if you've ever
no.
dated me.
Speaking of cheating, let's talk
speaking
about Bill Clinton. Sorry.
Oh, I was talking about my own personal life, but we can talk about him.
Oh.
So speaking of, I've never cheated. I'm sorry, I've never cheated. Okay.
Whore.
Oh my God. So Instagram, I mean not Instagram, Twitch is bad. Like, I
Which
say
is
it's like,
bad. That's not a shocker.
no. Twitch. There's been an issue with Black and brown content creators continuously having to deal with hate raids. It's something we talked about last week. It's something that we're talking about again this week, specifically because Gabe brought to my attention a post that said Instagram can catch and label images that mention COVID or vaccines in them, but Twitch can't stop accounts with literal swastikas in their profile pictures. Tell me something isn't a priority without telling me something isn't a priority. Does anyone want to touch on this before I move on?
He's not wrong. I know because I remember who sent it, and he worked at Twitch before, so I definitely feel like he gets to say something else, something like this without being like, oh, but you don't know what goes on in there. He does. And actually at the same time when the Activision Blizzard stuff started coming out, he also had some things to say about, you know, the environment that a lot of places he worked at. And one of the places he called out was Twitch. He you know, he went on to say that in the Slack meetings that they had, you know, a lot of the times when his ideas for pushing small creators up, it would get shot down. So it's like, that makes sense. So, you know, clearly he's hitting something on the nail there. Is that the saying?
Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, whatever, something like that. But you know, clearly it you know, it brings a light, you know, he's not wrong. Like, it definitely doesn't seem like it's a priority for Twitch to spend that many resources and time zeroing in on racist and harmful accounts, because I don't think at this point in of our lives, this point of the world, you're not going to see a swastika on on social media, on Twitch, and be like, that guy's probably a good person. Like, he's not going to do anything wrong, especially if it it was an account that was created 2 minutes before it started harassing somebody. So
honestly, I just think the worst part about this is the whole like when February comes around, it's gonna be like, oh, we love Black people, let's put them on the front page, like we love them so much. It's what, August?
Yeah.
6 months later, and we can't even stream. Like, this is crazy. It's such performative bullshit, and like this is just evidence of that. So I only have 2 more things on the docket. One is OnlyFans and then Pokemon. No, they're not going together. Don't think about it like that, you bad people. But we do talk entertainment here, and I don't know if you guys saw, but OnlyFans is removing any type of explicit content.
And it
from
was
its
explicit
videos. Yeah,
videos.
it's just videos.
Excuse me. Thank you. I was there. I don't even need to read the article. They got you. Explicit videos, so you can still post photos. Explicit photos.
Like we really keep up with OnlyFans.
I mean, you guys are like, it's videos, Javel. It's not everything. I'm still gonna be able to look at pictures and hear things, but I won't be able to, see those pictures move and hear them at the same time because it's not videos. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because what? Okay, so whatever. The reason I bring this up is because I want to talk about business practice models when it comes to video games. So one of the reasons that's being touted around as OnlyFans doing this is because they want to appeal to bigger investors, and they don't want to deal with sexually explicit stuff, even though we all kind of know that OnlyFans is what it is because of sex workers. Like, it is almost synonymous with sex work at this point. So I want to look at it from a video games perspective. Of course, you can talk about this OnlyFans situation if you'd like, but I want to look at it from a video games perspective and, think about a publisher telling a developer, like, imagine that you've grown this company, you've developed it for this, and this is what you want to put out. And then the publisher's like, we want to, be able to reach a wider audience. And, we're going to have to, let's take Dead by Daylight, for example. And, whoever published it is just like, yeah, so we're going to have to take out all the really, really scary stuff because we want to reach a wider audience and have more kids play the game, even though we know that the game is built on scary stuff. Like, how do you guys feel about this situation in general? If it happened to a video game company, tell me. How would you feel if it did happen to your favorite video game company? If you have any comments on this, let me know.
It's kind of slimy to think that it's exactly as you said, that OnlyFans, you could like to be perfectly clear. Obviously, pornographic content was what OnlyFans was most well known for, but it most definitely was not the only thing you could put on there. You could put art pictures. You could put like art pictures. Like if you're like an artist, you could like put your pictures on there. Or if you're a photographer, you can do that. Anything that you felt is like marketable to people that you think you could sell, it could go on OnlyFans. It just was most notable for having the pornography. That's what really sold it. And like you said, because it's like it's now people are looking at it because it's gotten so big, they want to throw all that away. It's like the equivalent of a friend helping you get like this really good job, and then you become so big. It's like, oh, I don't know them. It's like, that's what this is. That's what this is. Just like you reach to the top and you forget the little people along the way that helped you get there, and it sucks. I mean, obviously this is gonna affect a lot of people, but even going beyond that, it's just like, I don't know. Again, OnlyFans. There's other stuff on OnlyFans besides pornographic content, but I don't think that the main thing that made it so big suddenly going is gonna help it at all. Like, it seems like a business suicide mission.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, the only thing I have to say about this is OnlyFans, please look at what happened to Tumblr when they removed porn, okay? Yeah. Remember that. That's all I have to say. Go ahead.
No, but seriously though, OnlyFans removing that, it's just like, okay, you're not going to get investors if you don't have creators on your platform. So if you upset the creators on your platform and they leave and go other places, I've already seen the like other companies like circling like vultures. Like you can post it on, you can post it here, like
Yeah,
Fansly,
same.
Fan
Just
House,
for
like a bunch of
fans.
them.
Yep.
Yeah, like they have fucking even Patreon. Can you post adult content on there? I think you can do it on a lot of other sites, and they're like kind of like, oh, come to us, like we'll take your adult content. Like your creators are just going to leave in droves. So good luck getting investors with no one on your platform. And it's become so synonymous with sex work that like investors, I feel like it's gonna be the same pool of people that are going to invest because they're like, OnlyFans. Like if you say OnlyFans, people think nudie pictures. Like that's what you think of now. Jeez. Like I
how
feel
do
like
you distance yourself from that?
you can't distance yourself. Just embrace it at this point, you know?
Yeah, I saw something it was talking about like, oh yeah, like now OnlyFans, only videos you're gonna be seeing of like people baking bread or like making like a gingerbread cookie house or something. I was like, I can just go on YouTube for that. Like, there's no one to me. There's no one. I'm not gonna say stupid enough. That's me. There's no one like. I don't know. I just feel like if I'm looking for a recipe, if I'm looking for a recipe, or I'm looking at how to do something, I would just fire up YouTube. I can't fire up YouTube to look at a butt. I mean, I probably can, but the video's gonna be there for like 5 minutes at most before it gets removed. So like, huh?
That's all the time you need, right?
Wait, to bake something? What are we talking about?
Don't
to see a butt.
To make something.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not
while you're baking something.
I'm gonna be honest with I did feel because I mean technically you're buns.
All right, I'm done with this podcast.
Oh my god!
I quit.
Oh, come on, that was good.
But like because you wanted to connect it to video games. I did feel when Epic Games bought out Mediatonic, I felt like something similar was gonna happen, and I felt like Fall Guys was gonna, because Fall Guys is the only Mediatonic game I play. So I definitely felt like Fall Guys was gonna start like doing weird, I don't know, Fortnite type shit. So like that's the only connection I can make to it. I guess like if Nintendo told Nintendo, hey, Legend of Zelda is no longer gonna be a free roam open world game. It's gonna be a tactical RPG. I don't know. I can't really connect it to video games outside of the Mediatonic, and I also
develop Zelda games.
Nintendo.
That's they develop. Are you sure they don't develop every? They don't develop every Zelda game.
No. Well, not every Zelda game,
but the mainline ones, they develop the mainline ones.
Nintendo tells Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo tells Nintendo. But like, because I mean, I wouldn't be able to use Koei Tecmo because they're the only they made the Warrior games. I can't actually no. Yeah, if Nintendo told Koei Tecmo for the next Hyrule Warriors game, hey, this isn't going to be a Warrior type game. This is going to be a Zelda type game. Yeah, why the fuck would you hire me then? You fucking idiot.
Like, so we're good at this. Yeah.
Okay. This is what we like. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we excel at. Why would you hire us to tell us to do something we don't do? So, I'm done.
Because we got the money.
Nintendo telling Nintendo.
So we got the money. We got the big investors. So do what we say. Take this money.
But in that case, so Nintendo already has the big investors in money. OnlyFans doesn't, apparently, since they want to move away from that. But
it's so crazy because so many people were using OnlyFans during the pandemic, and it's become a lifestyle, a job, a full-time job, like Twitch.
See,
right? People have already literally
buying houses and shit.
Buying houses on OnlyFans. Yeah. I hope enough of those people retired already.
My time has come and gone, unfortunately.
I mean, you have until October. You got a month and a half.
I don't have enough time to make content by October.
That could get you some money though in the 2 months.
Let me tell you something. Anybody who wants to. All right, so Pokemon Company recently did Pokemon Presents, and I'm going to tell you guys everything that was mentioned, and then we can talk about it a little bit. And it's going to start with mobile devices on September 22nd are going to be getting Pokemon Unite, which is going to be crossplay with Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch version. The free-to-play puzzle game Pokemon Cafe Mix is getting a revamp and will soon be called Pokemon Cafe Remix.
I like that name.
Sorry.
Yeah,
say
no,
that
you said it
again,
right.
please say that
Okay,
again.
so it used to be called Pokemon Cafe Mix. Now it's Pokemon Cafe Remix.
I like it. It's
I'm
corny, but I like
so
it.
happy. Refresh puzzles, new elements, new Pokemon and dress up options, etc. On August 20th, Pokemon Go is getting Pokemon's first discovered in the Galar region, which are including Wooloo and
Wooloo!
Phalanx and here comes the Wooloo plush.
love
Wooloo,
Wooloo.
Phalanx, and another one that I cannot remember because I didn't care about it.
It's Squavit, Wooloo, and Phalanx, I believe.
Squavit, that little ugly ass, big cheeked ass squirrel shit that evolves into that ugly big cheeked ass squirrel shit. I was very disappointed when I saw that evolution, if you cannot tell. Also, we got a new look at Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, both coming November 19th on Nintendo Switch. There's also releasing Friday, November 5th, a Brilliant Diamond and Pearl themed Nintendo Switch Lite, which is based on the previous Nintendo DS that was released in that theme. What the fuck is happening to Wooloo?
It's rolling off
He's
the
rolling
screen.
away.
Oh, okay. I was very concerned. And of course, we also got another look at Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is coming on January 28th, 2022 to Nintendo Switch. And the Pokemon Company also confirmed that Pokemon Home will support Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Legends Arceus in Arceus, whatever, in 2022. They also mentioned that there will be no competitive play in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or Pokemon Arceus. If you want to keep playing competitive, you will have to continue to play Sword and Shield. And that was everything announced during the Pokemon presentation. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go first. I will also mention just a little addendum to what you're saying. In Unite, in addition to the mobile announcement, they also announced that coming soon to the game is going to be Mamoswine and Sylveon.
This article, thank you for reminding me, this article is titled Everything Announced During Pokemon Presents by Wesley Yin Poole, who forgot to mention that. So he did not write everything that was announced.
Call him out. Call him out.
I will never get a job at Eurogamer now.
Oh man, oof. it's getting rough out here. Yeah, no, Mamoswine's cool. Sylveon is adorable. I love Sylveon. That's all I got to say about Unite. I still play it. I'm trying to get the Captain Cinderace. The Wooloo coming to Go is nice. Go has become this game where like I don't really play it that much, but every now and then I'll be like, let's see what's around me, and it's always something new because I check in like every few months. So like anytime I go in, I catch something new. So it's like, hey, if you don't care about collecting them all, then it's fun in that regard. What's up?
I just noticed that you're wearing a Team Rocket outfit.
Yes, sir. I was ready to talk about Pokemon Presents stuff.
I love it. You're so cool. Look at the rest of us being lame.
Being lame. I got Winnie the Pooh on my shirt. What the fuck?
I literally just wanted to see the reactions. Kelly's like, what?
I'm wearing a brand new dress, Darrell. Okay, is that good enough for you?
No,
and it's cute. The dress is cute.
I love your dress. It's actually really cute. And I thought it was a top. I didn't know it was a dress. You have to show me the whole thing after. And Gabe, I love Winnie the Pooh. You guys are adorable. Everybody looks so good. And I'm not even wearing clothes. Look at that. If you were watching the podcast, you'd see me naked. Just kidding, you wouldn't. But you can find me naked on my OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/hpcriticals-jitrel. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, oh, we're making this real? All right, cool. Anyway, continuing on. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Yeah, it's really cool about that Onyx Switch Lite. I think it's very appropriate. They had that DS Lite that had the Onyx pattern. Game looks a lot better. I mean, I knew it was going to.
I'm sorry, what game looks better?
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. The original version looked a tad rough, but this is looking a lot better now in these new video. Pokemon can follow you again. Thank you. I love it. I love.
Are you saying the original trailers or the original game?
The original trailer.
Okay.
For Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because Joe was like, "You're fucking wrong."
No, I literally was I didn't play the original game, so I was like, does he mean the game? Does he mean the trailer? Like, they look the same to me. I mean, I don't know. They look the same. They all just look like chibi little bullshits run around. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if the chibi versions have changed that much to me, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's more like the environments and like the sprites and whatnot.
I didn't pay that much attention actually, so I would have to take their word for it.
Yeah, it's just like little improvements enough that it's noticeable.
How y'all be seeing that stuff?
What?
How y'all be seeing that stuff? Like, how do you see the differences?
I mean, a lot of people just post like
Eyes.
comparison photos.
Eyes.
Wow.
I mean, like, how
Mark.
do you know? Because I know, like, when I'm really interested in something, I will literally be like, that shit looks different. Somebody worked on it. Like, but like with
Then
this,
what are you
I
asking?
didn't see any. No, because this, I didn't see anything. I'm interested in Pokemon, and I was like, this looked like the same cheapy bullshit. Like, I noticed nothing at all. I guess I was tired. I did come from work. It was 9 a.m. Never mind. Go ahead.
It was an early ass showing, but yeah, it is looking better. I like the game. It really is not like a huge amount of improvements compared to the original. It's mostly the same. Like it's faithful. They did say it was going to be faithful, and it's very true to that. But they did add a few new stuff like the Pokemon following you, the new underground area where you can just like meet new Pokemon and stuff like that. There's a few new things. Honestly, I'm excited for it because I don't know how many people know this about me. Like a lot of people know that I like Pokemon, obviously, but like as far as Gen 4, that's a gen that I don't want to say I skipped because I didn't, but I didn't get too heavy into it. I kept up with the anime, but I never finished Pearl or Platinum, the two Gen 4 games that I had bought. So this is kind of my redemption.
Platinum.
Yeah, so this is my redemption. I want to actually like finish this game this time. and Legends Arceus, hype. I'm like happy about the new trailer. It looks really cool. It's more Monster Hunter than I thought it was going to be. Like straight up, you're in a base camp and you're going like on these expeditions to catch the Pokemon. They can freaking kill you if you're not careful.
That's great.
It has the Final Fantasy X like battle system where they have like the turns on like the right side of the screen. I think that's a neat little addition. Yeah, no, it just looks a lot better. I'm so freaking hyped for Basculin Legion. I had a Basculin in my black version championship team. And my pal is finally evolving. I'm just Jarrell, what the hell's going on? I'm like talking and like you're cracking up every second. Like what's happening?
You can say things that are, like, that are funny to me.
What am I saying?
Right. You said I had a masculine in my black version, and I was like, that sounds so weird. It's like
Okay.
you're talking about like you had a black friend who played basketball. Like, what the fuck is going on?
All right.
I'm sorry, it's me. I am the problem. I apologize.
Basculin Legion's cool. He's definitely gonna be on the team. I'm done. Both
It
games
was
look dope.
also, did you see like people that were making fun of that trailer because of the like smooth jazz, but then the voiceover is like it just is the spirits of all the dead fish that didn't make it upstream. I'm like, what the
Oh yeah, the dissonance there was hilarious. But I'm about it. It's one of those creepy Pokedex entries just spoken out loud with completely inappropriate music. And so what are you gonna do? That's really just cool.
I'm so sorry. It's just really funny.
Go on.
And then
I'm
I was
done.
also thinking about like the memes that I've seen of like people getting beat up by Pokemon. Like that shit.
Yeah, I know.
And they put the wasted font over it at the end.
I haven't seen that, but that's appropriate.
I posted it.
Yeah, he
didn't
posted
see
it in the
You
Slack
didn't-
thing.
you didn't
You
see
laughed?
it.
Didn't you laugh at it? I feel like you
I
laughed
feel
at
like
it.
I didn't see. I saw one of them. I didn't see the wasted thing.
Dude, it was so he was running and
Oh,
she got electrocuted, and like as soon as she fell down, it was like wasted.
It was so
Damn. Anyway,
So I think you're probably the only person here who actually played Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
No.
oh, the
I
original.
I'm sorry, the original Diamond.
but I didn't finish it. So
Oh,
I
did you play
apologize.
Gabe?
Well, I played Platinum. I didn't play the two, but Platinum is the
It's the-
compilation game.
That's
it's
the one that
definitive
has the
version.
little like centipede looking like one. What's that movie called?
What?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot about Platinum because I hated that game.
Human
I didn't-
Centipede.
Oh, sir. Hello.
Human
This is a
Centipede?
family friendly.
Yeah, that one that has the
Pokemon
Pokemon that looks like the human centipede.
What?
And that one,
We're gonna have to look that one up later.
Oh, Giratina. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Giratina is like, yeah, it kind of looks like a centipede, I guess. Kind of. Go on.
Oh, anyway. I mean, I guess I'm gonna talk about it now. But
Yeah, go ahead and follow the human
woke up-
centipede.
That's hard to beat there. I kind of woke up late that day, so I only saw the ending of the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. They gotta come up with better names. I saw the ending. I was
perfect.
oh my god. So I'm the only. I only got to see like the ending of it, so I saw the underground city thing, and then I slipped off my bed, so I missed the rest of. I missed the rest of that presentation for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But I'm excited for the game.
Wait. You have a loft bed that is above you. How the
Yes.
fuck did you slip off?
So I was going down the stairs. There's stairs on this side of me for everyone looking. I'm gesturing to my left. So yeah, and I was going down, but the things I had the phone in my hand, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, Underground City, and I don't know, I was half asleep and I missed the step completely, and like I just slipped right off. I wasn't injured, thankfully.
That's good.
My pride was. But yeah, so I saw it. Looks really cool. I'm excited for the remakes. I pre-ordered both of them in the double pack.
Cool.
However, my only gripe with it is, and this also happened for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, is to me, again, I'm not a hardcore Pokemon fan. Like my favorite Pokemon is Charizard, and he's been around since Gen 1. So I may be wrong in saying this, but like I definitely feel like if you're gonna make the remakes, make it the third game. Like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire should have just been a remade Emerald game with a fancy title. And then Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl should have been
Platinum,
Hopping Platinum or some shit, or whatever. I was thinking of an adjective. A platinum game.
The answer would be pure
Fake
platinum. But
you got from
Pure
the
platinum. There we go.
fucking flea market,
Pure platinum.
Like, what
Yeah, it really
pop-
does.
You got
So-
pure
it sounds like a
platinum. I
drug.
got
It sounds like a
popping
drug.
platinum. Like, come on.
It sounds like a drug. But yeah, I feel like it should be the third game, but then at the same time, like having the two games, yeah, it gives you different Pokemon, whatever. Anyway, enough about those two.
Well, to be
Can I
fair,
ask you
like
a
they do
question?
incorporate like third version stuff into both versions. But go on.
Yeah,
What was your
they
question?
do, but like, I don't know. It's you're just going for money at this point. What's your question?
Yeah, so my question to you, Gabe, is if you're a casual player and you know this, why you bought the double pack?
Oh, one for me, one for my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair.
because I care about my family. That wasn't a shot to anybody.
Like, 'cause that's what I felt
I was
like.
just saying that
What?
because like, yeah, because
Okay.
my brother likes and so my brother likes Pokemon. Again, he's also not a hardcore fan, but one of the reasons I
I'm a
got the
bigger
double
fan than
pack,
your brother.
yeah, but I'm not buying another double pack, so sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
But so like, yeah. So one of the other reasons I got it so he could play it is because he hates Bidoof, like
As he should.
yeah. So and like when he first played the game on DS, he was like, I am so fucking sick and tired of this stupid ass beaver. Like he got mad. Like when I talk about Xbox, it's like that, but like times 20 when he talks about Bidoof.
You haven't even been that bad towards Xbox lately. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
believe you.
because Xbox hasn't done anything worth catching my attention.
I mean, they haven't
now.
done. Okay, never mind.
Um,
Contrast.
really quick, talking about X. No, I'm not gonna talk about that right now. That's different news. I was gonna talk about Skyrim. But then for Arceus.
Oh yeah, that
Arceus,
happened today.
yeah. Arceus, whatever. Pokemon God. That game looks fun as
Pokemon
shit.
God.
I can never pronounce his ning right, and someone always tells me something different. So I was like, Pokemon God.
It's
Um,
Pokemon God.
Pokemon God. The game looks really fun. It definitely looks like it's geared towards an older audience, not like old.
I
but, like,
mean,
but
when you
yeah,
throw hands
you're
with
over
Pokemon,
here. Yeah, you're
of
fighting
course,
Pokemon.
like, what
It
the
looks funny. I'm excited to see everyone's, clips of them getting knocked out by Pokemon. It's just gonna be when that game comes out for that week, those 2 weeks, we're gonna be getting content of people sucking ass in Elden Ring and people getting their ass whooped by Pokemon.
Oh
It is
damn!
gonna
That's
be-
right. They come out at the same time.
I'm not, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like the world in those 2 weeks is going to be a slightly happier place of just
100%.
people of just that of people getting fucked up. I'm excited for it. But yeah, my favorite thing about Pokemon God though was the Growlithe.
Oh
That
yeah,
Growlithe
Swing Growlithe.
was
Hell yeah.
adorable.
It
If you
was
haven't
so
seen the
cute.
Growlithe, look up. I don't remember what the
don't you look up shit. You go to HPCritical's
how
Instagram
did
or
you-
Twitter.
How did you know I was gonna say go on our Twitter and look at the Pokemon Growlithe there?
Oh.
So go to Twitter at HPCritical and find our Growlithe picture. It is a
It's
very
actually
nice,
at critical
well
underscore
shot.
HP.
Oh, there we go. My bad. It's a very fine captured screenshot of Growlithe. It's really nice.
You can also
looks
find it on-
adorable.
Instagram and Facebook.
I know for a fact Facebook is HP Critical. Instagram
Is also
is
HP
also
Critical.
HP Critical.
I think. All right. Well, anyway, I loved it. Kelly doesn't give a shit. And with that, we are going to end this. And next week, come back and we're gonna talk about something really fun, which I haven't told these guys yet, but it's gonna be super awesome.
I want to know now.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you when I finish?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if I tell you now, everyone's gonna know, and then they won't tune in because they'll know the secret.
You're gonna have to tune in to find out.
Exactly, you gotta tune in to find out. Unless I forget the secret before next week, in which case you're just gonna get another regular episode. I guess there's only one way to find out by tuning in next week. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for participating with me. Once again, this has been Brandon, Gabe, Kelly, and Jarrell.
You know what's funny is in my screen when you said Gabe, you pointed at Kelly. When you said Kelly, you pointed at me.
That was on purpose because I didn't know.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Nah.
Good night.
Bye.